Call the meeting to order. Consideration possible action on appointment of chairman for fiscal year 2015-2016.
All right, I'd like to nominate Kenny Davis to be our chairman this year.
I'll second. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Consideration possible action on appointing vice chair for the 2015-2016.
Marilyn, I'd like to recommend you be that vice chairman.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Consideration.
Okay.
What?
Sorry, we now have a new chairman.
You switch
Okay,
over
so
during the
put-
meeting?
Oh.
Middle of the
okay.
meeting, go with it.
Wow, that was quick.
Okay, consideration of possible action on approving the minutes of, let's do them one at a time, right? June 2nd, or can we do them together?
We've always done them together.
Okay.
However, let me tell you the problem. I emailed them out and apparently forgot to print this 24th, so I can either run and get them. You all received them in email.
Okay, I've got, do you?
Well,
have the
I'm
24th?
abstaining anyways because I wasn't at
You want to do
either.
the 24th? So, we're gonna do action on approving both the June the 2nd and the June the 24th.
I'll make a motion.
Moved, or second?
Yeah.
Second as to the, I'll second as to the 24th, and you do the other.
Why wasn't it either?
Oh, you weren't
so I
either
can't-
one?
I
Okay,
can't
I'll
vote on
second.
either of those, yeah.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Passes. Next, consideration and possible action on approving the application for temporary appropriations for general fund and health fund for fiscal year 15-16.
Okay, and just first time, the budgeted accounts, which are general fund and the health department, have no money until you appropriate temporarily, giving funds effective today. Historically, it's been half of last year's budgeted amount is what's appropriated as temporary, so we have operating revenue while the budget's in process. There's two exceptions to the one half, and that is the workman's comp account is funded in full because we have to make that payment in full this month. And the general fund M&O account was increased from half because we have to pay the first half of property and liability insurance, and it was exorbitant, so we kind of kicked it up enough to offset without breaking that M&O account while we're working towards the budget. So those are the two exceptions to half of last year's budget.
And where's that on our sheet here? Like,
It's-
it's not on there, just.
What you have there were estimated needs.
Okay.
Not the temporary.
Okay.
That's what's right here. Y'all can pass and look. Health department is the same, they got half of last year's budget, so.
That's,
So this is exactly what we had here, the estimated needs.
Mhm.
And this is what their request, or what we need is a temporary for half of last year's budget.
Now, the single sheet there, that's the health department.
Right.
The other is general.
Just this is health department?
Right.
Okay. So why do we do health department separate from all the others?
They are separate. They're their own board and their own thing. The excise
Okay.
board is gonna approve temporary appropriations for the schools, for the health department, and for
Okay.
Logan County.
Okay, gotcha. Thank you.
Okay, is there any discussion? Or question?
Okay, I'm sorry. Wait 1 second, so on this highway, it's saying we're not doing anything on the highway budget.
The reason is that's an optional account that's only funded if there's available funds when the budget comes out.
Okay. So
That
you don't
was
put
the
money in
case
it in
last
case-
year. We
okay.
don't know that that'll be the case this year.
Okay. Okay, so it's half, I'm sorry, except for the workman's comp, and what was the other thing? That was
General
for?
government maintenance and operations.
Okay, yeah, then I would move that we approve that.
I'll second.
All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? You want us to go ahead and sign?
Mm-hmm.
How do you want, since, does it matter?
I'll put a line.
Okay,
It's
just-
not, yeah.
We'll sign where you got our name. And then-
That's fine. I didn't think about,
Well, there's no way to know what to do.
yeah. just as a reference, we talked about
I didn't
this,
get that, sorry.
with it being Marvin's first budget year as well. The law actually allows us to appropriate up to 100% of last year's budget.
Yeah,
Historically, we've used half. It could be
Okay.
less than half, but historically, it's been half, as long as it's no more than last year's budget.
okay. And that doesn't save any work for you or anything if we do the whole amount, because you guys have to.
No, and actually, I think we want to believe that we're going to have more money this year than we did last year, but I think if you appropriate 100%, you could run into an issue if it worked out that there really wasn't. Now you're trying to take it back,
Yeah, yeah,
so.
Okay.
okay.
Next item is consideration and possible action on approving applications for temporary appropriations for Coyle Public Schools, Crescent Public Schools, Guthrie Schools, and Mulhall Orlando Schools for 2015-16.
Is this the same thing we do half on the?
Actually, theirs works different, and I cannot tell you what, it's not their full budget, but I can't sit here and tell you it's half. I don't work those up, they come from the schools, from their budget makers.
But it is low enough that we're pretty confident we're under the total that will eventually.
So we don't have anything showing what they had
What their
last
total
year.
budget was, or
So it says that they're not exceeding 100%, but doesn't say what percent this is. Is that all that we get from them then? Or is this all for?
Those are the 4 different schools.
Oh, so they all look completely different then, okay.
Yeah,
so
each budget
we take
maker
a
uses
look at a
different
couple of
forms.
them.
I can go over and get their budgets from last year if you'd like me to.
No, I thought that'd be something that they would provide for us, just to make it easier to. Okay, then in Crescent, they did tell us 100% of the fiscal year 15 estimate, their estimate is 4.7 million, so they're asking for 4.2 million. So they're
that's
shooting
the
at
only one of them.
90%. Yeah, these two did it, they used the same format.
And this one's different, but it doesn't tell either.
Okay.
We are confident it's under their 100% though.
But they
I would be,
stated,
like I said, I'll gladly go get their budgets. I never thought to bring them, but I can go get them.
Would that be a big deal?
No. You want to stand in recess for a couple minutes?
Let's,
Can I
Well,
trust y'all are gonna behave
yeah,
and
we won't
no
tell-
communications?
no communication, but is there any other things that we could be reading, just so it'll expedite us as we're,
Well, if you
No,
want
we
to
haven't seen
read the
before.
cash funds or the transfers, that's these 2 piles that you're gonna be signing
Okay.
as the next items.
I'm
Okay.
sorry to make.
can,
No, that's all right. You want all 4 schools?
Yeah, well, no, we've got, which one
we've
is
got
that?
the one for Crescent,
Everybody but Crescent.
Okay, give me just a couple minutes.
Thank you.
thank you.
I don't know if I said we are in recess. If I didn't say that.
Okay. Thank you for going to get that,
Yeah.
Troy.
Oh, no problem.
Yeah, you're exercising this meeting.
They're as confusing as a county budget.
While you're looking, if I can ask two, 2 of these are in triplicate, they want 3 original signatures, and 2 of these are single. Do we need to make copies so you have original signatures?
But I wouldn't have an original signature on the school board side, so they're gonna get the copy and I will keep the original.
Okay,
That's the way.
okay,
Some of the budget makers want multiples and some don't.
okay.
enough where you really can't tell what they want.
Yeah.
I said in the county, and I'd have to go to find that last.
It's very good, because it's not to exceed 100% of the total estimate of their
And this
submitted
is Mulhall.
needs.
Okay.
And so these are the actual budgets, the expenditures from last year?
These are
last
the
year.
financial statement for 13-14, and the estimate needs are the budget for 14-15.
This is last year for Mulhall. Here we go.
Okay.
Okay, wait a minute.
Yeah,
Wait a
I
second.
may have just,
They're asking for 1.6.
okay, they have two, okay, I see the way that the
There's
school,
something
okay. You've actually got three different. You've got their general fund approved,
This is the building fund.
and then you've got the building fund approved.
I got you.
So you're gonna add,
And they're broken out here. So
Yeah.
for Mulhall,
Okay.
last year was $186,059.
Wow.
And this year's, the requested appropriation is 158, so it's well below the
Okay.
building fund. Let's see if we can find general fund. Where's general fund? 1,871,000.
Okay.
There,
Yeah.
they got
So
1,590,000.
they're shooting like 90%.
Yeah.
All right.
Maryland and Mulhall,
Yeah.
each of the,
Okay.
I'm feeling.
Yeah.
I-
each of these,
I think this will-
their request is below what they had last year by ways.
Okay.
and then here is Guthrie.
Let's look at, did we get this one figured out?
It's got 90%.
This is who? Crescent.
Okay. That's,
Which I think you said
that
they
one.
had it on theirs, but I went ahead and
Yeah,
just
Oh,
grabbed
so
it
that's
off
right.
more,
This is, yeah,
so.
this is the one that's got,
Okay.
this one could,
And this is Guthrie.
Mhm.
Oh, sorry.
yeah, I just figured I'd just see what they said.
Make sure they were truthful.
Because it's sitting right here in front of me, right?
Okay. This is Guthrie. General fund last year was 22,955.
Down to the penny.
20,500. So
They're right.
Okay.
they're
What was
about,
it?
they're a little over 2 million
Okay.
under what they did last year on general fund.
Looks like they all did about 90%.
Yeah. Building fund. $1,264,000, and we got 1,100,000. So again, they're all lower.
Okay. I'm comfortable. I got those signed for you. So.
And this one is Coil.
Coil was 2,309,000. Where's the coil one?
Coil general fund was 1.9.
960. Yeah. Looks like they all did what they said they did. 120 versus 102. So
Okay.
Is that what they normally do?
So I'm signed all.
Okay.
Wait, I think we were supposed to vote on that before we signed it. I forgot.
I'm not very good.
We're not
Are we
that
supposed to?
technical.
Okay. So I guess if you
We'll
call
cross
for
our names out here if you guys
call
vote against
for
it.
a vote of approval.
South I-35 Road, Roxville.
Could I have while we're doing this, could I have a motion to
Also
approve?
moved.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
All in favor, say aye. All opposed? None passes.
Well, whoever thought rocks would fall off the mountain? See what I do, spend $1 million on fixing, spend another $1 million on insurance in case it comes down, and then you pocket the other $1 million.
And how much other money is it?
But that's business. I just saw, they awarded a contract, $3 million to fix that rock slide on the interstate.
Yeah, on I-35? Yeah.
Who got it?
It's ridiculous.
Probably not too far from.
It's absolutely ridiculous. Yeah, I saw that on the news last night. I mean, we live in Oklahoma, man. Get the men out there with their
County Commissioner's
equipment and do
nephew.
it.
It's in my past.
Sorry about that.
No, you're fine.
Wouldn't want to turn out the other way around and be in trouble. By the way, good job on the minutes. That was a little bit of a job, wasn't it?
Thank you.
Because what would that
Copy and
be?
paste at your brain.
I can tell that came out of your, yeah. That's why I didn't go back and check those numbers. Let me ask you, you didn't just copy and paste this out of there.
Yeah, I think that's
But it
important
looks good.
information.
I think it's real important.
I'd like to check that stuff against political contributions.
All of them? Okay, the next item is consideration and possible action on approving cash fund appropriations in the various county cash accounts.
So do we just go and sign away at these? and
These
then
are the
we have
normal that you
questions?
normally do, the money that was deposited in June that we are gonna put into the cash accounts, just like our normal parts that are done every month.
You ready to start this
Do
off
we,
again?
yeah, do we vote to approve it, or do we?
Seems like that would be
just sign it? We
information
don't
that
mind
would-
it.
No,
Would
you'll
be
take motion,
interested in-
it'll take a motion.
Okay.
They
yes.
still say who the contracts were awarded to, and it seems like that would be
It's one of those
of
things
note
that
anyway.
I've never, I guess it could happen,
I'd
y'all say,
sign
no, you
wrong.
can't have this
That's
money.
fine.
Well, not changing that.
You know, I just wasn't sure if we were supposed to move and then sign, or if we just sign and then move, and then we, I guess if we, this way we get to take a look at them and know what all we're moving to approve.
We can go back and cross out our name if we.
I've signed on the top line.
That's
Because
No.
I've been demoted.
You're a member, you're signing right. You're-
Well, I didn't know the
That's
first
fine.
one.
That's fine.
Oh, Marilyn, you weren't demoted, you were freed up.
Well,
We
yeah.
make you do the work.
You think I got a promotion?
Yeah.
Okay, you guys, there's multiple pages, so we've got to sign
Oh, I didn't
on
notice
each
that
of them,
one.
so.
Just, I think it's just that one
Just this
that
one?
went over.
She
Okay.
had
multiple.
to sign for us, so we
I
didn't have
missed
to.
it.
That's the only reason I got it, is the big red. Thank you for doing that, Troy. All hand holding is very appreciated. You've done right.
Thank you.
Do an H.
Troy, I'm amazed. All those numbers and you make sense of it.
Been doing it a long time. Thought that felt like more than one.
We got some FEMA wildfire money,
The big wildfire last May, they submitted to the state FEMA for what is called an FMAG, for all the participating fire departments. That money was just received, and we will now be writing POs to each fire department for their piece.
exact thing on here. It's,
These forms actually come from the deposits made at the treasurer. So when she runs her apportionment, it scatters the money to each. She attaches the miscellaneous receipts for the dollars, and then they come my way. I write out, do the handwrite out, and then bring them here. But like on the one you just pointed out, Dan, the interest
yeah.
on that one, the highway fund collects the interest, but within that fund, we have the 3 different districts, so that's why we divide it by hand, so each district gets a third of the interest.
Okay. I mean, from a manpower standpoint, you've got so many hours and hours writing it out. If there was a way of automating it, it was. But then I guess we gotta get legislature to change it so that you can do it reasonably. Who's District 3?
Monty?
Mine. You notice he always gets cheated. If there's odd numbers, he's the last one, so he's losing pennies every.
No, I try to rotate those
Oh,
off.
did you really?
I do.
Oh, that's too funny.
Gotta keep everybody happy.
I do,
I noticed
actually,
there's always
yeah.
a penny off, so alright, that's funny. You are into the details.
Okay, do I have a motion for approval?
Yes.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
It's been moved and seconded to approve. All those in favor say aye.
Alright.
Aye.
All opposed? Our next item is consideration and possible action on transfer of appropriations from 2014-15 fiscal year to 2015-16 within various accounts.
Okay, so all the cash accounts, cash funds that the county has, we have to move money from last fiscal year to the new one to open for operations. This does not always represent 100% of their unencumbered. If there's outstanding POs open in those accounts, we leave a part just in case there's anything over or anything like that. But the fund is here, each of the counts within the fund, and the money that we're gonna move from last year to this year.
And then we'll have to move anything that's left.
As it pays down, we'll end up, yeah, it takes a couple of months to get.
Okay. Now, I noticed a lot of tabs, so are there multiple sheets? when you
Those,
sign it?
yes.
Said when I came on this board, I was gonna change my name to Ann Ogg. signature 200 times for them to check that you weren't the one.
Mine's different every time, so I'm not sure what good that
Well,
would
that's
do.
what I thought. I said after 200 times I wouldn't get. Anyway, they called the culprit, so. And it wasn't me.
I agree with you, Kenny. Mine is different every time too. But if you throw a forgery into it, it stands out. You can look at it and say,
Yeah.
I didn't sign that.
There's certain parts of it that are really the same style every time.
Somebody that is a super hand. I just forgot to spell it.
I did have a former employee though that taught me how to do his signature so he wouldn't have to.
Lester did that in the Army.
Oh, yeah?
He was in Korea.
It's got a wind in here, isn't it?
Yeah.
Didn't you say a lot of these road districts, they're hanging on to money, but they don't
Yeah.
really get enough to do anything
We
for a while?
just talked about it. We have 4 rural road districts, and the one that actually has enough money, the problem is no one's kept them active and stayed on top of it from the district. Spring Ridge has $2,000. It's taken them about 4 years to collect that, so, reasonably, they'll never collect enough to asphalt their mile of road at that kind of money. And Commissioner Goodman is gonna touch base with the couple that are in his district, see if he can get them riled up a little bit to start taking care of their business. So
Okay.
it's something that legislation needs to fix. They need to because if you think about all of this work for that, it's costing the county. I mean, we're spending money and nobody is benefiting.
Where's that money
Yeah,
sitting
it's
there
still
being
being-
wasted basically?
Because a friend of mine did that exact same thing.
Enough to do.
He's probably $10,000 into it. He still
Yeah.
has, it's like $800 a month for the blow into
You have to have
his car. He
maybe
hasn't blown into that thing for 18 months.
on that road district.
Yeah, it takes a 9
Oh, my
member
God.
board.
You find 9
Get
people out
any
there.
money, get any money out of that lockbox.
Oh, my gosh.
I'm not gonna understand.
Well,
Yeah.
he didn't just get there.
They're not allowed
He
their own
didn't
treasurer,
teleport
which is
there.
why we
Well,
have
we
the
don't want
money.
people passed out.
Well, that costs us
Sitting on the
on
side of
the
the
county.
road with it not operating.
And there's no
That's
minimum
something
valuation, that's the problem. Like with Spring Ridge, their total valuation is less than $1 million. Well, okay, there you go. That's why, I mean, it's not gonna generate enough tax money to do anything with, and it's really not fair to the people that are paying that tax.
Because they're paying it and then not
You got
just being
to
used
look for it.
And it's just
Find it
sitting.
anywhere. It's like they,
And costing the county money because we have to keep
evaporated.
shuffling it.
he was probably
So you can imagine
in the car
committee
drunk
of
after
9 where
midnight
there's about
with
20
the director of
households.
mental
Yeah.
health.
Probably a hard time finding them.
In the
You
bar
could
put them together for a meeting,
Not to each other.
No.
Punch each
or
other.
anything.
Just,
And
yeah,
try
try to get them to agree on the color
Where
sign
is that?
for their entryway.
We have 4 of them.
Yeah, to
4 of
me,
them,
yeah.
okay.
That's criminal in of itself. It's that
I said, I think the premise of them
And those
can
same
be a
people,
good thing,
yeah.
in a large enough area with a committed
Right in there with the whole TC thing.
and legislation tightened up on them.
Minimum valuation.
What was it?
Minimum valuation is the biggest
For her to
answer.
jump out of the car after midnight on North Expressway, you know what I mean?
And
Twin Lakes Fire
requirements.
Department's got $110,000 in their cash.
Just the fact they were there, but then there was some sort of argument.
And
that they get her
requirements
to
for
leave the
reporting.
car.
Right, and requirements for reporting.
So, but yeah, there's no stories.
And somebody bought it.
Especially if they're not gonna be allowed their own treasurer, so we have to handle their money, then they need to have a legislative
People would know.
requirement of submitting something to us at least annually.
Even if it was investigated, they would find
I
out.
just soon give them their own treasurer and get off of us
And
totally.
if they're out of it for a little while, something needs to be done with that money.
Exactly.
Couldn't get out.
Yeah,
It definitely needs overhaul.
and probably just pay to.
Nope, I agree.
And once those folks hit that income level, get caught in the web, they can get out.
the way
It's really
it was.
bad.
Oh, yeah, then you end up three-striking them.
And you know, so much of that, I mean, I'm guilty of it too, but when that's what you were taught, and that's, you
Once they get
know.
in.
That's the way the legislators
Right.
set it up.
Yeah, they fine them for not paying the fine.
Well,
and
it was
then all
a
of
good
sudden they're in
idea
jail
with
because of
what
non-compliance or whatever.
with certain aspects of it, but when you throw that in.
I don't think that they understood that
Comes in.
the small
Yep.
is the problem.
Yeah.
I think it all started with a couple of probably very large areas in very exclusive, high-valued areas that could generate the revenue and really take care of it. And they came up with this not taking into consideration that
And no law is really.
Yeah.
without some really stringent parameters, you're gonna end up like we are.
Okay.
Most all the legislators don't understand
Oh, yeah.
small.
Yeah, if you're Al Sharpton, no $4 million.
They think big, huh?
That's
He just keeps on
true.
raising
They
money,
only
you know what I
think
mean?
big.
It's amazing. You know, real public people walk around, they can talk about these things, how just influences people.
Just think of all that he got saved in the day by not bringing one.
We take revenues.
Don't be charging me in usage.
These are the kind of things.
Thought I had one of
Those
those
issues.
normal good.
Right.
I'm not very normal, so
They're tricky.
Mm-hmm.
We shouldn't support them.
I agree completely.
there lies in the
There's enough laws out there that if they choose to prosecute you, you get prosecuted. You don't, for taxes or for driving or for back payments on something or, you know, there's just enough stuff that, you know.
I think, we look at that, make it to a whole package, violating it, under.
Crazy. It'd be interesting to look at, you know, just around the same area, who else got caught for DUI in that same.
Child abuse, maintenance, and
Yeah,
operations.
seems like that's a purpose.
How about stopping child abuse but not promoting
I
it?
think that's an excellent point.
You know,
Yeah, absolutely, and it's, drug operating machinery, that needs to be kept to.
Right.
We should really get involved with it.
Mm-hmm.
resales and like tax resale.
Yes, that's the tax resale account.
What does tax resale mean? You can sell taxes to somebody?
No, that's when the county has to take it back for non-payment of taxes
Sell your property.
and sell your property.
Mm.
Every year, June, every county on the same day, Monday in June, does what they call the tax resale. So if you're 4 years behind, it's on the 4th year, you can be put up for auction, and it's a public auction. Now, the counties can only keep what is owed for the taxes,
Mm-hmm.
but it goes out to public auction, and the difference is rendered back to whomever. But if they come back to the county, that's how the county obtains ownership to properties, through that process. When the fees and the interest and all of that is accumulated, it goes to that resale. But the resale, not only does it support the treasurer's office, it's also responsible for the maintenance and keeping them mowed, all the county-owned mowings and, you know, any of that kind of thing. Found out yesterday, Sherry's dealing with her very first one. A house came back to the county this year, and never has she had one occupied. And evidently it's one that has been condemned by the city. It's not even truly inhabitable, but there are people living in it.
She gets to be a landlord.
So she was off seeking legal on what to
So
do.
most of the time they're empty properties?
If they end up actually going through the sale, because you have so long to redeem once the notice is posted. So you get a big flood of people, and you only have to pay the 1 year, not all 4. So you have some properties that every year are posted on the board. They come in, they redeem for the 1 year, and they're back on the auction block the next year.
They stay 3 years behind, basically.
There was one in here for safe room plan. What's that?
After the May 3rd, 99 tornado, we had FEMA funds come in 2 years later, I guess it was, that allowed for a rebate program for the installation of safe rooms.
Oh, like tornado shot?
Yes.
I always think, okay.
Yes, and those funds are what was left over and not expended. And I told the commissioners this morning, after this period of time, there's been no comeback, we know we're done, that we should be able to move that over to general fund.
Marilyn, are you done signing or are you massaging a cramp? Are we
finished.
finally
I'm
done?
taking a nap down here.
Do we have a motion for approval?
I move that we approve what we've signed.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Passes. Next item is consideration and possible action on approving transfer of appropriations within various accounts.
These are the blessings, the transfers that happened within the last month.
We don't need to sign.
No,
They don't sign it.
we're just required to notify you.
We don't even need a motion. right?
Well, we have always taken a motion, just
Okay.
so that it's formal that you were notified of the transfers.
Fire chief, fire chief, and fire chief.
And the dollar amounts are on the back.
There's definitely a brotherhood going on
Good
here.
morning, Miss Martin.
Someone's putting them back and forth to each other.
Yeah. And each other out. Right. Thank you for showing us those.
I have a motion to.
We always
recognize-
put down that you approve them, but
Okay.
it's a formality.
We have a motion for approval then.
Yes.
Move.
Second.
I'll second it.
All in favor, say aye.
I'm seeing these things. Aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Passes. Try this. Okay, consideration of possible action on approving special estimate of needs of $15,600 for Logan County Fire Departments. And you've got the statute authorizing it there.
What this is the statute that's quoted there allows, in the case of sales tax collection, a special estimate of needs to be submitted. It's actually submitted by those that are expending or by my office for the administration to reimburse the cost of handling those accounts. We've always kept it, or I've always kept it extremely low. This will be the second year in a row I've submitted for $100 per month per department. That's supposed to cover the cost of personnel, time, paper, ink, checks, postage, everything that we do to handle their sales tax for them. The money is actually remitted and becomes part of the general fund. Doesn't come straight to me, but the purpose is to compensate for the work that goes into administer the fire departments. And there's 2 copies there.
And this is pretty similar to what the amount has been.
Yeah, I hadn't increased it. It's being more than fair to them
Yeah,
when
I'm
you
sure.
figure the
Yeah.
hours involved.
I don't doubt that. Do I have a motion for approval?
So
Any move?
moved.
Yeah,
Second.
Second.
Okay, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Passes.